The beginning is very hard because they're very strong. They have the whole energy to try to defend what I'm trying to do. So it's very hard. But their resistance will drop because they cannot use, they won't have power to defend the whole fight. 10 minutes is too long. And after 5 minutes, that's when I was used to grow a lot in the fight. So, the first half was hard, very hard for me. Every first half was like tough. Second half, always much easier because I just found my pace. I found my zone. Now I have my rhythm. Now I'm going, and they is slowing down.
That must be terrifying. You're breathing out your arse, you've blown your what, you've shot it like Hodger Gracie, you've given it all, and you're just beginning to warm up. Well, that must be just terrifying for your opponents. So,
Yeah,
but people have said when they've rolled with you that even when it looks like they're close to tapping you, you just find this tiny bit of space and you come out, or you can hit a submission from anywhere. Do you prefer using positional like sparring so that you can learn to attack the body from all positions, that you can find escapes from all positions? Is that the key for the best development for anybody, including a fat guy about to return to jiu-jitsu? Should we be
yeah.
using more positional sparring?
To learn, yes, that's when you develop your skills because the repetition of the same situation, at some point you will learn. So it's, if you practice the same sparring situation over and over again, and you can make the same mistakes over and over again, but at some point you will try to change something because it's
Mhm.
not working. For some people, it might differentiate how many times it needs to happen for you to change something. That's just numbers. But it's the repetition. If you're doing the same move, you're trying one escape. You tried the escape, it didn't work. You're gonna try the same escape, it's not gonna work. I mean, at some point, you will try the escape differently, or at some point, you try to find the right time for the escape. You're doing the wrong time, or you're doing something that's not working. So you always try to change something, and at some point, something will happen if you keep changing that you're gonna escape, and then you're gonna replicate that same movement, and that's when you improve. Now you're practicing the same escape, doing something different that is now is working. So that only happens with the repetition and of that specific situation because the specific sparring, if something happens that you're out of that situation, you stop and you go back again. And you go
Yeah.
out of the situation, you stop and go back again. So you keep going back to the same situation. So you get to try the same things. That's when you really learn because the repetition, repetition, repetition. I can tell you, if you do this escape, do this and it's going to help you escape. But then you got to practice and practice just 5 minutes or practice once or twice. It's not going to make you learn that. You need to practice many times, many times, many times until you start doing without really thinking much. That's when you really learn a move, when the move comes naturally without having to think much before the move. Because fighting, everything happens fast, right? Fighting is a movement. We're fighting, and then boom, something happens. We're fighting, boom, something happens. You don't have time to think much. What should I do now? With movements, you can't. It's instinct, and that's when comes. It's what's the name? You conditioning yourself at that moment to apply that technique because you've done that dozens and dozens of times. So you're only going to do naturally without thinking if you've done many times.